I hated being skinny. And even though I trained every day, it took me years to put on some muscle. And instead of hopping on this, I found science-based methods on how to put on some size fast. So here are 7 steps on how I went from this to this in 6 months. Step 1. Have a right training plan with the right volume. According to this paper, in order to build muscle optimally, you need to train approximately 10 sets per muscle group per week. This means that if I want to grow my chest, I can, for example, do 4 sets of bench presses, 3 sets of pec flies and 3 sets of partial chest presses. If you're more of an advanced lifter, you probably should do more volume to get the same amount of gains. And if you don't have that much time to go to the gym, you also shouldn't worry too much. Because this study shows that even if you train 3 sets per muscle group per week, you still make 70% of the gains. So here's my take on volume. You should strive for 10 sets per muscle group per week for the muscle groups which you specifically want to grow. Do mostly compound exercises, so exercises where you target more muscles at the same time, so your workouts become more efficient. Step 2. Go close to failure with good form. You should go close to failure in your workouts. So this is where you cannot go further anymore. For muscle growth, you don't necessarily need to go to failure, but you should be pretty close to it. As a rule of thumb, you should aim to have 2 to 3 reps in the tank at max. In terms of weight, you should take a weight where you can do an exercise with good form for 6 to 15 times or repetitions. So here's a pro tip. For everyone who's already training but don't see that much growth, take 10% off your current weight and try to do the exercises with perfect form each rep. So a full range of motion and good technique. You will feel your muscles working so much more, which is good for muscle growth. Step 3. Train every muscle groups 2 times per week. Like studying, it's better to divide your study work over a couple of days than to study everything into one evening. The same as with training. Working out consistently for a longer period of time is better than doing one mega workout. So aim to train every muscle group twice a week and give it 2 to 3 days of rest in between. Every session, you should aim for approximately 4 to 6 sets per muscle group. And so you could do a full body split where you train 3 times per week and 3 full body workouts. Or you could do an upper-lower split where you do 2 upper body days and 2 lower body days. For example, Monday is upper body, Tuesday is lower body, then upper body on Thursday again and lower body on Friday. And if you're a die-hard gym goer, you can do the push-pull legs times 2 split, where you do a push day on Monday, pull on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday, push on Thursday, pull on Friday and legs on Saturday. Step 4. Apply progressive overload. I am obsessed with progressive overload because it shows direct effect of that the training that you put in is working. Progressive overload is the increase of intensity, volume and frequency of exercises over time. You can overload on 4 components. The first one is you add more weight. Then you can do more reps, do more sets and do it with better form. In general, when you just started out in the gym, you can basically micro-load each workout, which means that every workout you can add a small amount of weight on the exercise. Always keep good form and you will see yourself growing pretty fast. When you're a little bit more intermediate, try to increase your volume first. So do a little bit more sets and a little bit more repetitions. And then you can overload with something called linear periodization. You can start with using light weights and doing many repetitions. As time goes on, you slowly lift heavier weights and you do fewer reps. For example, imagine you begin by doing squats with 70 kilos for 10 times. Next session, you increase the weight to 72.5 kilos and only do it 8 times. Next squat day, you do 75 kilos and do it 6 times. The last week of the month, you do the 72.5 kilos again, but then with 10 times. You've now increased your squat weight with 2.5 kilo every month, which is still a pretty significant improvement. Due to this progressive training system, you will build more muscle, because you keep challenging your body at the same degree, even though you're stronger. When you're lifting for over 5 years and you've really plateaued, you should focus mostly on form and tempo. If you focus on doing the same movement with the same weight, with a little bit better form every time, you will get stronger and you can make minor improvements over time. Hey guys, if you want to have a training plan tailor-made for you, we now have a free 6-week challenge where we'll help you with all of this for free. Step 5. Choose the right exercises to do. I would advise to do mostly compound exercises, which are exercises where you work on more muscle groups at the same time, like squats or bench presses. This way you are more efficient with your sets and you don't have to do as much exercises per training, so you can also spend less time in the gym, right? Then you should do a maximum of 3 exercises per muscle group. For my chest, I only do bench presses, pec flies and chest presses currently. It is shown that when most people start doing exercises for the first time, they grow relatively less fast than after a couple of weeks into those exercises. So, this shows that you optimize growth when you do exercises which you've really developed on. Step 6. Eat in a caloric surplus and eat enough protein. As this paper states, most muscle gain happens in a small caloric surplus of around 10%. You know your caloric needs by using the Harris-Benedict formula, which you can find via this calculator. When you found your daily caloric need, then you multiply this number with 1.1. And this is your daily caloric need in a surplus. Now, let's calculate protein. The rule of thumb is to multiply your body weight in kilos with 2. That is the amount of grams you should eat of protein per day. Now, if you weigh 75 kilos, then you should eat approximately 150 grams of protein per day. Each grams of proteins contain 4 calories. A little bit of fat that is existing in protein sources, so I use 5 calories. And this means that you eat 150 grams times 5, 750 calories from protein sources. Now that you have your caloric needs and you know how much calories you eat from protein sources, you know how much you have left for the other macronutrients. And yes, there are more important factors in nutrition in terms of optimizing micronutrients and choosing specific sources of fats and carbohydrates, but for muscle growth, it isn't as necessary as eating in a caloric surplus and eating enough protein. If you do just these 2 things, you can eat how you want and gain muscle if you have the other steps right. Step 7. Make sure you rest enough. You build muscles in your rest. And this paper shows that the average person should let the muscle group rest for 2 to 3 days for it to become stronger. You can rest certain muscle groups while training others, so your training split is efficient. But rest is also your sleep. And this study shows that it is optimal to sleep more than 7 hours for muscle growth. And in general, I would advise to sleep more than 7 hours for all the other health benefits and disease prevention. If you apply these 7 steps, you will grow your muscles guaranteed. Remember, it is important to go to the gym consistently, to have fun, be flexible, and don't beat yourself up if you don't see progress fast. If you keep going, you'll eventually see the results. You've got to do the actions without seeing the results immediately. Guys, thank you for watching. Good luck in the gym. Give a thumbs up if you like this content and hit the subscribe button. Bye!